Hey y'all, Lost Sandman R35 coming at you from Two Guys Reviews, giving you my first impression of one of my most anticipated games of the holiday season, Assassin's Creed 3. Uh, Here we are. I actually wanted to get this particular shot into the intro of the video because it is awesome. One of the things that you will notice pretty much immediately is the graphics are phenomenal. The new game engine is fantastic. I mean, it is crystal clear. You can see. Welcome to a really awesome shot. Anyway, all right, where to even get started on this one? This is just a treat. I have been looking forward to this game for a long time. I actually reserved a copy of this way, way back when they first announced it, probably around May. And finally got my hands on it, and I've put about 5 hours into it so far. This is actually my current progress in the game that you're seeing right now. And there's a little, you can see I'm playing, got Connor here, and he's got his cool equipment. Let's go over, well, first, the first thing I mentioned was the graphics, and the graphics are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Whether it is water or we're out in the frontier right now with the trees and the wind, if you are in a snowy environment or there is snowfall, your tracks in the snow look fantastic. The water effects whenever you're on a ship are fantastic. I mean, they just went crazy with this new game engine. It looks amazing, and I also had the opportunity to play this in 3D. I am lucky enough to own a very awesome TV, and I do have active 3D. Just to give you an idea of what I was actually looking at, and you can't tell from this video, obviously, but there's dust particles and little, things, bugs, whatever, flying through the air, and all of that makes it really, really good in 3D. And I will go so far to say that in 3D, this is the best 3D game I have seen to date. There is very little of doubling images. It's very, very well done. The only game that even comes close to this, in my opinion, is Crisis 2 with their 3D technology. Now, let's move on to the gameplay. The gameplay is a little bit different now. It has been tweaked. The combat system is a little bit different than it is in all the other Assassin's Creeds. It's easier to parry and counter-strike different foes. As far as the battle system and as far as the actual climbing and traversing of objects and whatnot, that has been tweaked as well. It is much harder to accidentally vault yourself into nothingness as opposed to what you were trying to get to, say, the next building or tree branch. And speaking of tree branches and climbing trees and whatnot, I know I don't have footage of it in this particular video. I will definitely later on. I was actually a little concerned about that, thinking, I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I wasn't sure if it was going to be smooth or if you could like free run through trees, but let me tell you, yes, you can. Oh, yes, you can. You can free run all through trees. You could do different assassination techniques from trees. That was surprising to me. Um, the way that you actually make money in this game in order to buy better equipment, whatnot, is by hunting out in the frontier, and you're hunting deer and beavers. and your bears and wolves and foxes and rabbits and whatever. I mean, they're all out there. You can set traps for them. You wind up like Red Dead Redemption style, skinning them and then getting the effects of that. And now you can see we're in Boston. You can see the ridiculously high degree of detail. Um, I was running towards the next mission here. I'm about to meet Sam Adams. Not not to be confused with the beer. Well, he is part of the beer, but well, I'm not even going to get into the history of it. But the actual Samuel Adams, not the beer. And looks like this is where we're going to start to throw a little tea party, the actual Boston Tea Party. Earlier on, there was a uh, you witnessed the Boston Massacre, and all of these historical events are playing out in a very typical Assassin's Creed fashion, where it's just amazing to see it from their take of it. And that leads me to the next part, which is the story. And I will be 100% honest with you, and I will say that the story in this game started off pretty slow. It was like, okay, what's going on? I have no idea. Why am I assassinating this guy? You're actually, and I'll tell you right now, I'm not going to give anything away, but you're actually playing as a completely different character whose name is Hathan Kenway. And his story leads into Connor's story, and I'm not going to give anything away other than to say that there is one hell of a plot twist that comes in. I don't know, maybe a couple hours into the game, uh, and it kind of blew me away. I wasn't expecting to see what I saw, but you also see right here one of the abilities. If you're running away from people, you can cut through buildings, like I just did there. There's different ways of hiding. You can hide in tall grass, and here's a whole bunch of redcoats. And a giant ass fort, which apparently is a restricted zone. I was just wondering what was going on with that before I went on to the main mission. But back to the story. The story is phenomenal thus far. Like I said, I'm probably about 5 hours in, and it is great. There are side missions, and even those stories are awesome. Yes, I did run into Benjamin Franklin. You actually wind up doing that earlier on in the game, and you're meeting all these historical figures, and it's amazing. Here's another cut through of a building. You can lose pursuers real good that way. And in just a minute, you'll get to see some combat. I was hoping that I'd have a little bit more, but unfortunately, it took so long to get into this mission that there's only just a little blurb of combat. And here's a little talk with Sam Adams, and he's gonna start talking about doing the Boston Tea Party. Of course, I'm not going to show the Boston Tea Party. Again, like I said, I do not want to give anything away. There's so many awesome plot twists and things that happen in the story that it would be like almost criminal to give away anything, especially if you're an Assassin's Creed fan and you haven't picked up the game or you haven't progressed this far. But overall, my first impression is very, very good. Um, this game is extraordinarily polished. If that's probably the best word I could use to describe it. I have rarely seen any kind of glitching whatsoever as far as the game is concerned, and that is amazing considering the size of this thing. Like, you literally have like this huge frontier area, and you have Boston, and you have all these cities, and then there's wilderness everywhere, and it's huge. It's a huge game, and the fact that there is hardly any glitching or weirdness happening is phenomenal. Here comes a fight scene where I just own a whole bunch of redcoats. I'll let you enjoy that.
Discussion now. Open this door or these men will break it down. Ah!
Ah, bollocks! We're coming in!
I trust the mounting evidence is proof enough, Connor.
Continue on. I shall meet you at our destination.
And there you have it. Yeah, he is one badass mofo with a tomahawk. And as far as the character himself is concerned, I think Connor is awesome. He's not as... what's the right word to say it? He's not as animated as Ezio. He's not as... trying to think of the right word here. I don't know. Playboyish? But he is a angry dude on a mission. And like I said, I don't want to give anything away, but there's a reason why he is an assassin. It's good. I'm going to leave you with the rest of this short gameplay where they discuss the performing the Boston Tea Party. And if I were to give this game... Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to backtrack just a little bit because I still want to talk about how there's not much of any kind of parsing problems or glitching or, you know, uneven lines or anything like that in the game. The only things that I have noticed thus far are there was one cutscene in the beginning where you're on the ship and you're talking with the captain and the captain is talking back to you but his mouth isn't moving. That was the only time I've experienced that particular kind of a glitch in this game. The other glitch is kind of like self-performed. I wound up vaulting myself into a mountain. And believe it or not, the game was smart enough to realize that I was off the map and it popped me back in. So, like I said, this game is just extraordinarily polished. There are, as I'm walking through Boston, you can see there's side missions where there's tax collectors you could take out and whatnot. And I was just checking those out as well. They're called liberation missions, I believe. Not sure what they do yet. But if I could give a rating on just my first impressions alone, I am going to give this game a 9.5. And that might actually go up because it seems like the more that you play this game, the more awesome it gets. It may actually be a perfect 10 by the time we do our full review. With that, I will leave you with the cutscene that we are about to see where they're planning the tea party. And stay tuned tomorrow for Zombie Talk Episode 2, as well as a continuation of the Doom 3 BFG Edition Let's Play, where we are in Exus Labs and we are getting ever closer to actually meeting Dr. Myers in person. So with that, I will leave you with this cutscene, and I will see y'all later. Peace out.
Connor, I'd like you to meet some like-minded friends. The owner of this fine establishment, William Molyneux, and the manager and chef of his newest venture, Stéphane Chaffeau.
Ah, Connor and I just had a ball with some red coats enforcing some taxmen outside my home.
The collectors grow bolder and more forceful. Something we must address, Samuel.
Then let us raise a banner. Something to let the people know that they are not alone. The docks are an angry place of late. Protesters picketing the latest shipments of British tea. The eyes of the city are upon that stage.
A Bostonian without his tea is a dangerous beast.
William Johnson is smuggling the tea off the ships. One of his men tried to sell me this. A sample of what I refused. But it's from those ships. No mistaking the stamp. He's charging a king's ransom Must be he's making a mint off those who buy it.
Where is he now?
I've never met the man.
May I ask why you seek him, Connor?
He intends to purchase the land upon which my village stands, without the consent of my people.
No doubt the revenue from his little smuggling endeavor is financing the acquisition. A tax enforced on tea grants a boon to smugglers. I'll wager the same men who levy the taxes are selling the tea. A stage requires a spectacle, and I may know the play.
Bye-bye.